Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Steve Lentini, The Best Getting Better. I'm grateful for your attendance. And these are webinars and trainings that I do every week for free. I shoot for a half an hour. Sometimes I go over. Sometimes I'm a little less. Depends on my schedule. And so I am the published author of Sales Success for the Rookie, How to Succeed at Sales Right from the Start. I'm not sure why this shows up backwards. Maybe if I hold it upside down. So Sales Success for the Rookie, How to Succeed at Sales Right from the Start. It's published by Motivational Press. And they're a great company. Justin Sachs is the president. I'm also a contributing author in Imagine 30 Days to a New You. I'm one of 29 authors. I'm on page 222. I have a chapter. And again, here's Justin Sachs. If you've got a book to publish, this is a great avenue. Contact me. I can refer you to Justin, or just contact Motivational Press, Justin Sachs. Great guy. Okay. And his email is, I think it's justinsachs@motivationalpress.com. SACHS, Justin, JUSTIN, Sachs. Okay. So here's what I want to talk about today. It's important how you show up, and it's important to be helping people buy. I've been studying this for a number of years. When I got into sales, the training was features, advantages, benefits, and then say, okay, 3 copies, press hard, or would you like it next Wednesday or next Friday, or we can have it to you on Monday or Wednesday. That was called the alternative event close. Those are all techniques. They're tacky. If you read anything about selling today, you read Jeffrey Gitomer, you read The Challenger Sale by Matthew Dixon, you read Jeffrey Thal, the Mastering the Complex Sale, all of the great systems. Miller Hyman, it's a little complicated. I think they overcomplicate things, but Sandler Sales. I was a licensee for 6 years. Basically, they're helping people have adult conversations. The trainings are all the same. What they're not adding in is what I add in. So I add in the universal laws of success, the power of your thinking and your words, how you show up to others, and managing the energy that you put out into the world. And I include that in having a presence as well, so that you can notice the energy that your client is sending you, because we're all sending out energy. It's the only thing we can manage. The only thing you can manage is you. And when you change, things change. If you're not closing, it's you. It's not the prospects. It's not the company. If you don't have faith in the product, people know, get out of the company or work with the company to change so that they have faith in the product or service. If you have to cheat or cut corners to get customers, there's something wrong with that. And it's an energy that'll catch up to you. It's not a good idea. Having integrity is important. Keeping your word is important. And these are all things that they're not taught everywhere. And so I teach it. I have video classes. I have live classes. I do keynote addresses. I do reinforcement training about this work. I've made live cold calls with people to show them how it works. And it's fascinating how it works. And of course, I use it myself. I'm helping people buy. So I was on the way to Massachusetts to teach one of my classes last week. And Herb Chambers is advertising. We don't sell you a car. We help you buy one. They're advertising it. And on billboards, they're putting it. We don't sell you a car. We help you buy one. Fascinating, right? I've been teaching it for 25 years. I've been doing in sales for 40. And I learned it after 5 or 6 years on my own, following what people were teaching, the features, advantages, benefits, present, close, always be closing. And I understood that there was something wrong with it, because people had a lot of resistance to it. Salespeople had trained prospects and clients. I call them future clients, not prospects anymore. So salespeople had trained future clients to be resistant and be wary of salespeople. Like, look for where they're trying to cheat you or take advantage of you. We trained them that way. So what you want to do today is look different than other salespeople, and how you do that is you be fully present with people, not wanting to sell them anything in the beginning. There's plenty of time to sell them stuff. First, understand where they're at. How can you help them buy? And by asking questions, like Jeffrey Gitomer says, talking, you should be talking 25 to 30% of the time and no more. The future client should be talking 70 to 75% of the time, because you're trying to help them here with your questions, whether they need you or not. And if you're really present and understand what your company does best, right? The sweet spot, I call it. What is your company's sweet spot? Look at all the successes you have in your company's customer list. Find testimonials. Understand really well what you do well, what you do second best, what you do third best, and where it doesn't make sense to take on a new customer. Maybe yet. Or maybe you say to the customer, we're really not that great at that, but if you're willing to try, I'd like to get better. If you'll give us a chance, we'll give you a break as an experiment. We'll get better. And we'll work on it together with you. But that's honest. You see, a lot of people don't want to be honest, which to me in sales, why don't you want to be honest? Why don't you want to be honest? I did that with a major client, a college. I said they were looking for, when I first called on him, he said, we're all set in this area, Steve. And I said, oh, okay. Where are you having challenges? Like, what's really bothering you? He said, well, come with me. And he brought me to a room where they had 100 different machines. I said, what's this? He said, the graveyard. I said, my God, I don't have a repair department, but I'd love to build one. Would you work with me? And I'll send somebody in here. I've got a guy that's going to school. I'll send him in here once a week, and we'll come build you good working machines out of all these machines in the graveyard. He said, would you do that? I said, sure. I said, the standard labor rate is $40 an hour. We'll charge you $25 because you're a guinea pig, and we'll come every week. We'll come to your site and we'll work on them. We'll organize the room. We'll define the ones that need to be junked. We'll take parts off them. We'll build parts for you because you have all these bones. You have all these machines. He said, that's fantastic. Do you know, after a year, he said to me, Steve, we had a $50,000 budget for new equipment and we didn't spend it because we had fixed all their equipment for him, the dead equipment. We made, say, 30 or 40 good pieces of equipment from the 100 that were in the boneyard, and they had no idea. Plus, he found out, because I helped him with it, that he had machines at other companies that they had lost track of. The other companies didn't have a good tagging and tracking for the equipment. So he had pieces of equipment that other repair departments didn't return to him, and they didn't tell him. So what happened, do you think? He was angry with him. He threw him out. And 2 years later, we had a good repair department because we worked together with a customer, finding the fit. I did it with a big university who told me they would never buy from me. They couldn't. They had 16 suppliers, some of them 35 years. And how could we buy from you, Steve? I said, you know what? You're right. But tell me what your problem is. So once I listened to their problem, I said, it sounds like you need a partner. Ooh, what's that? I said, well, don't you have 16 people coming in? Yes. Aren't you going to be interviewing them all to decide who you're going to go to? Yeah, we're going to go from 16 to 1. Okay, you're right, Steve. I said, if you don't hear the idea, I think somebody will come up with the idea. If you don't hear it, call me. Can you imagine? Most salespeople would never walk away from that because it was $1 million opportunity. So they would never walk away from it. Guess what? 3 or 4 weeks later, they called. Steve, what's your ideas about partnership? And 4 or 5 months after that, we got to business. We had never done $1 with them. Yeah, because we helped them buy. We helped them buy. I've done it with lots of accounts, multiple $1 million sales. I did it in New York City with a theater group last year for a client, an office supply client who was learning how to get into a new market. And we closed a $1.2 million customer by helping them and helping them see that we were the perfect solution. That's the goal. And then, of course, I was present and I was teaching the reps about being present. Forget your agenda. It isn't about your agenda. I watched a guy pushing his agenda, making calls with salespeople. I watched him push his agenda and I had to interrupt him. I said to his client, his future client. It was a prospect. I said, "Are you all set here? I'm just getting a sense." He said, "Yeah, thank you." And later on, he called me and said, "Thank you, Steve. We want to buy from you." I said, "Okay, we'll take the business. You've got to give the commissions going to the other guy, and maybe you'll go bowling with him in a year." And in fact, it was he that suggested that. "Maybe I'll go bowling with him in a year, Steve. I might like him." Yeah, today they like each other. Because the rep learned that the only thing he can manage is his energy, and how he was showing up wasn't working. He was actually going to blow that sale. Can you imagine? Because he was more concerned with his own agenda instead of listening to the prospect, the future customer, which turned into a future customer. So then there's universal prosperity laws that you're always creating what you're focusing on. Get the book, Are You Ready to Succeed? If you want to read a logical book by a Columbia professor, a former Columbia professor, Dr. Srikumar Rao, R-A-O, S-R-I-K-U-M-A-R, Srikumar Rao. Great book, Are You Ready to Succeed? I have all my clients read it. I have some other books that I suggest to people, but this is an important one because he talks about developing a level of thinking above your thinking, and he talks about the law of increase. What you focus on increases. It's one of the laws of prosperity. But there's also other laws that I teach people about, that you're always getting what you're giving, and that it's important to be giving, to be generous, to be tithing. A lot of business people, if you research tithing, you'll find that a lot of business people do it. Very successful business people, they're tithing 10% of their income to their source of spiritual support. We live in something bigger. You live in a universe. Everything's ordered. This globe is suspended in an orbit, a perfect orbit around the sun, right? There's no life on the closer planets. There's no life on the farther planets. There's life here. Are there other stars like this? They're finding there's 200 billion stars like this one in our own galaxy, let alone the whole universe. So we're living in something infinite, in something that we have no idea about. And yet in our daily life, we don't bring any of those laws with us because, Steve, if I work hard, things will happen. Really? I got a $10,000 check in the mail in January from someone I worked for 20 months earlier, had done work for them. 20 months was the last work I did for them. I stayed in touch, but he acknowledged something that I had done for him and sent me a thank you, because they were more profitable than ever with a decision that I helped them make. So really, you have to work hard? It's about an energy that you're putting out into the world. How was it that I'm able to walk away from sales by helping people and they come back to me? How is it? Because I have faith and belief in something much bigger than my little acorn brain wants me to think. See, logic has you thinking, you're the source of everything. Really? You're the source of air? You're the source that has this globe floating around the sun in perfect order? Really, you? You're not the general manager of the universe, right? Just go look at roadkill. Yeah, Steve, what do you mean go look at roadkill? Something gets killed on the side of the road, and if nobody cleans it up, who cleans it up? The universe is perfectly ordered. The flies, the bugs, the crows, all the different critters that eat stuff like that come out, and within a few days, it's gone. The highway crew didn't have to clean it up. It could. It makes it for a nicer highway. But guess what? We don't have to. This world is constantly changing and recycling and reusing, and it'll reuse you someday. I know. I'm already in my second time around. Not many people get that gift. I got it so I can share it with people in my work, that there's thinking that's beyond our thinking, right? It's beyond that everyday belief thinking. And we're always getting something that we're harvesting. We're always harvesting something we planted, I should say. Everything that comes, whether we run a company or we're an individual salesperson, everything that's coming is your responsibility. When companies aren't working, typically it starts with the leadership. That's what I find. They're not projecting broad enough, big enough energy. They're not even seeing their team win. Often they have all kinds of stories and complaints about their own team. And it's to get beyond the stories and start thinking only and getting everyone thinking only about what's the vision for the company, what's the purpose of the company, what's the mission, what's enlivening, what brings enthusiasm to everyone. And it's about changing the way you've always done things, because if you don't change, things won't change. And I have a lot of satisfaction in working with companies that get it. I'm working with a company now that I've been working with the CEO for 16, 17 years. Been working with him for 16, 17 years. And he brought me in this year. He said, you got to come in every month, Steve. And when I got there, I said, yeah, I do. Because they had gotten to this flat place where they didn't have sounded like they had no positive vision. And as I changed their thinking and I changed their words, and we put messages around the company about where the company was going, and we started training the employees about the unified new vision, guess what? They had record months. I started in January, June, July, August. Right? August is not even done. It's going to be a record month, they told me. Yeah, I know why. Because our thinking and our energy has power. So that's part of what I teach people, along with how to have an adult-adult conversation, how to have that conversation where in the end you say to the client, what's next? That's your close. If you've done enough work back and forth, they've heard themselves figure out whether they need you or not. Either way is okay. You just want to know it. When do you want to know it if someone doesn't need you, for example? As soon as possible. So it's important to understand you have power. You're creating your world. In your company, in your life, your personal life, your professional life, everything is a gift. It all works together for good. The master is within. Life itself is the teacher. If you're not getting the results you want, that's the gift. The universe is knocking on your door saying, change. Hello, who's home there? Change, the lights are on, nobody's home. Did you ever hear that? So the beauty of a cause and effect world, right? The beauty of a cause and effect world. The minute I change, things change, right? If I keep doing this and expect a new result, I'm not going to get it. That's what Einstein called insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. That's insanity. So I always keep a boomerang to remind myself of my power, right? This represents to me the energy that I put out. What am I putting out? Because it's going to come back. It comes back. That's the law, cause and effect. I didn't make it that way. It's a physical world. But see, we're in a body on a journey. I know that because I was here 1 second and gone the next. And I was still there. The I part of me was still there, but nothing from this world. It's. If you want me to talk more about that, just email me or call me, and I'll tell you about the experience. But it proved to me, it's amazing, right? All the stuff I feared about leaving this body, there's nothing to fear. There's consciousness after the body. It's fascinating. And the only thing that happens, the big difference is there's no opposites. Where we're going is a land of no opposites. And the only thing that matters are the lives we touch, and surrendering to the moment, being present. You have no choice there. Here, we have to consciously think about surrendering, being present, being there to help people. We have to think about it. When I was on the other side, that's all there was the present moment. Fascinating. I had no choice. There was no past and no future. It was only the present. I call it the present on steroids. So, what can you learn and take from this today? Manage the energy you put out. Breathe and be present. Listen to people. Be there to help them. Understand that you're always getting what you're giving. So understand the boomerang effect. Start to control what you put out into the energy. You could silently wish people joy, success, and happiness. And watch what starts to happen when you detach from outcomes, right? You're not there to close them. You're there to figure out if you can help them and whether it's a fit or not for them and for you. And so you do some research and you prepare some questions so that you can help them determine whether you're a fit or not. And it's good for both of you. And if not, it's okay, because guess what? It wouldn't have worked anyway. And And your job is keep working on new people to call on, because grapes fall off the vine, right? They fall off. People go out of business, people die, your contact. How many times, if you've been selling for any length of time, you go in to see somebody who always gives you a new order, a new PO, a new requisition, and they're gone. There's somebody new and you get to start all over again. Or they have somebody and they say to you, geez, I got somebody. Did you deepen your relationship? If this person wasn't hired from outside and they were promoted from within, were you paying attention to them? It's like a farmer in the field. You have to pay attention to cultivating your crop, right? You won't get the harvest always for everything you plant. You don't put a tomato seed in the ground and shout, give me a tomato now. There's a process. Well, there's a process with each one of your customers. Each one is in a different stage. Some you're just planting, some are growing, right? They haven't quite yet produced a harvest for you. Others are producing a harvest, but you better notice the new plants coming along, right? The new buyers, the potential buyers. Expand who you get to know in each of these companies. And each one is different. And the only thing you can control is you. You can't control others. And so I've got clients that have been with me for 14, 15, 16, 17 years. I'm coaching them. And as they learn how they think, they develop a level of thinking above their thinking. Because first you have to develop that level of thinking above your thinking. Otherwise, you'll always believe your thinking. And always believing your thinking has you limited. I call it small-minded thinking. It has you limited, right? This acorn, by looking at it, it could be an oak tree. But the conditions have to be right. It's the same for you and me. The conditions have to be right. But first, we have to break out of the nutshell. And that's noticing your thinking, because your thinking will want to take you places that do not serve you. Your own thinking will want to take you places that do not serve you. And it's to get over this. And it's a journey. It won't be a destination. I have some, that's the good news, bad news. The good news is you can break through the nutshell. The bad news is it just keeps going. It's a layer upon layer that you gradually peel the onion back. So when you think you've got one thing handled, something else shows up. It's a journey. It's about being human. And be gentle with yourself. That's another key. So manage your energy, think positive thoughts, think silently wishing people joy, success, and happiness. Be present in your body, watch people's body language, feel the energy you're feeling so that you can ask them about it. Gee, I'm sensing you're a little confused about our message or about how we can help you. What's happening? So again, you bring up what you're feeling. You find a way to say it, but only if you're not in your head. If you're in your body, then you'll ask people because you'll get a sense. If it's a fit, they'll buy. It's not a problem. You'll say, what's next? They'll tell you. And it's amazing that when you discover your power, it's amazing what continues to happen in your life. You'll continue to grow and you'll achieve a level of success beyond your thinking. And it's important to develop your imagination too, is to have a big picture for yourself. Why not? Why not? You don't have to walk around sharing it like some bloated ass, right? You don't want to be pompous. Just quietly have a confidence about your future because you see it in your mind's eye. I know a lot of salespeople that all they do is talk about how they can't do this and can't do that, and it's never worked for me, and I don't know a lot of people, and they were and are proclaiming their own future with their words and their thinking. And as you change it, why not? Have a great imagination, a great picture for yourself, and then you start working backwards, calling on the people that fit your picture. So if you're calling on small customers and complaining why you're getting a small result, it's because of your efforts. Start to call on bigger customers. See yourself with people that you've never thought you could sell. Knock on doors. What are they going to do? Say no? You don't have them now. You can't lose what you don't have. So I'm urging you to think different. I'm urging you to use your imagination. That's what I teach people, to manage the energy that you put out. Be there to help people buy. Detach from the outcome, right? It's not about your commission, buddy or lady. It's not about your commission. It's not about your goals. It's about their goals. When you make it about their goals, they sense it. And guess what? You think you're closing people? No, they like you. You're finding a way by having a dialogue. Imagine, go back to all the customers that like you and ask them what they liked about you. Why is it they do business with you? Even bigger lesson, go to the ones who you didn't close and ask them, what happened? Hey, I was here 6 months ago and 3 months ago, 3 weeks ago, and you said no. What happened? What could I learn from it? I want to grow. I want to understand it. Fascinating what happens. Okay. So begin the journey of, first of all, develop that level of thinking above your thinking. Get the book, Are You Ready to Succeed? Great book. Follow his exercises. Pay attention to what you're focusing on, because that's how the law of increase works. So start to focus on a big imagination for yourself, right? Begin to focus on it. Begin to speak about it with your loved ones. Don't bring it everywhere. Don't be a pompous ass. Humble, humility. And then start to help people buy. Look where you can help people. Look for the ideal fit. Expand who you're knocking on, the doors you're knocking on, right? Enjoy that bigger journey. Enjoy the 10 no's you're going to get, but wait till you get that first yes on a bigger sale than you've ever had in your whole life. Imagine. You'll begin to prove the power that you have to yourself. And as you're in your body and present and relaxed, you're going to notice how other people respond to you, whether they tense up, you make them upset, do they do this, are they sitting like this? You'd say, wow, it seems like you're a little tense, or maybe you're a little resistant to what I'm saying, or am I making you uncomfortable? And then people will open up and go, well, no, I'm busy and I'm not really present. Whatever it is, they'll tell you the truth, because you're helping them relax. You're not there to sell them anything. You're there to help them buy, especially future clients. Regular customers, over time, again, you treat them with respect, but you're going to be different with them because they're your regular customer. But also you'll notice too, right? It's like noticing a friend. When a friend is, are you all right? Is everything all right? I noticed something about you. You don't sound okay. It's because it comes out. And if we're paying attention, we can notice it with our customers and our future customers, our clients and our future clients. All right, so this is something I do every week, and it's something I do in my training. This is my gift for you. If you have questions about employing me, contacting me, have me come in and consult, speak to your group. By the way, if I come in to do a keynote address, that's entertainment. That's $10,000 for 90 minutes. That's entertainment. And I prepare 3 months in advance. I talk to employees. But what message, what can I leave them as personal growth in a 90-minute talk? Reinforcement training is $2,500 a day. It's different. And I come in on an ongoing basis to reinforce that picture that leadership has. So I start with leadership. I tweak leadership. And then I start to work with the sales teams. And it's amazing what happens. Wherever I go, sales increase. Fascinating. Okay, so how do you reach me? 917-805-1088. 917-805-1088. You won't regret it. I help everybody. And a lot of times I find ways to help people for free by changing their thinking and tweak them. I help them a little bit. That's why I do. If you want to go to Facebook and Google Steve Lentini, you can request to be my friend, and you'll see my shares that I put up 2 or 3 or 4 days a week. And those are about the laws of success, about changing our thinking and the power we have as individuals. You can email me, Steve at Steve Lentini, L as in Loretta, E-N, T as in Tom, I-N-I, stevelentini.com. You can email me, and I'm glad to help. 917-805-1088. Call me or email me, Steve at stevelentini.com. All right. Have a great week. Go out and use the stuff I just showed you. Change your energy, change your thinking, be with people, help them buy. Enjoy. I know you'll have success.